Ich freue mich ganz besonders auf diese Band hier, denn die war eigentlich schon aufgelöst, doch jetzt sind sie zurück. Forbidden, Craig und Chris. Hey guys.
Hey.
You just flew in yesterday. How's the jet lag?
Yeah, we don't even have time for jet lag. We're literally moving so fast right now in all of our dates. We have a bunch of weekend shows that we're doing that stretch back a few weeks ago that started with Texas and then it was South America for a couple weekends and then it was Seattle and now we're here and next week is Maryland Death Fest in Maryland. Yeah, so we're just every weekend we're doing something.
Yeah. Well, by 2012 or 2013 Forbidden was over. But now you're back. So how did that come, that rebirth?
It was a very, very slow moving coup. And it started with us playing with Norman, having him sit in with us to do some Bay Area International rehearsal. And that was the only reason he was there, to do rehearsal. And then this guy immediately was like, hey, that guy sounds really good. And then we ended up doing a Forbidden song for the rehearsal that none of us were going to play, but everyone was in the room that was on Omega Wave. So it was Matt, myself, and Steve Smythe, and then Mark Hernandez, and then Norman was there, so we did Off the Edge. And
I tricked him.
Yeah, he kind of. Yeah,
I was like,
guys,
if somebody doesn't show up, you might want to know how to play the song, because I knew Norman was going to kill it. Yeah.
That's how it started. So when he did it, it wasn't 5 seconds in him singing that the door opens up and it's Chris like looking on the other side. So, and I was like, yeah, I hear it. But I was not at all pushing this thing forward, but it was immediately known that it could be something we do, but there was a lot of hurdles and I didn't want to, tarnish the legacy of the band or insult Russ, or I didn't know who's going to be playing drums, because at that time I knew that, Mark's time in Forbidden was done. He had decided to leave himself way back in 2011 or whatever it was. So I was like, there's a lot to do. And then we did another show with him where we had him, Norman came and sang an international show, and I had him play Chalice of Blood with Warbringer. And I got to watch that at rehearsal, and I was like, wow. Then I watched it during the show, and I was like, okay. And then he says downstairs, he's like, you'd be a fucking idiot if you didn't put it back together. I'm like, I was still the last one on board.
Well, the whole crowd was watching the song go down, and then they're like looking over at Craig like he's standing right there, bro. It's like, this is the guy, I mean, Norman is amazing, but even for me, not being in Forbidden, I knew that there was a thing, like he said, didn't want to tarnish the reputation. He definitely did not want to step on Russ's toes. He's so unique and so special to Forbidden.
Well, there's all that, and the fact he was my fucking great friend and mentor. I was the best man at his wedding. Russ and I have been through everything together, but he was, quite honestly, and people that saw him over the years know he wasn't feeling great. He wasn't at his best. He was kind of suffering under the throes of alcoholism. And so he got himself sober, which was really crazy, hard thing for him to do, and he's staying that way. So we were trying to get a hold of him just to let him know and ask of his blessing. And then he's like, as long as you guys aren't asking me to play again, go for it. He's like, and he knows
more
Norman.
Important for him to be alive.
Yeah. Yes. And anybody who's in the throes of serious alcoholism is like the trade-off of just being on the road and being tested every day. If you're a real serious alcoholic, it's probably not the life for you until you perish or something. So more power to Russ for doing it. And he was already a fan of Norman, and he used to call him Little Russ in the old days at our shows. And he's the only guy that could do this. Norman is the only guy on the planet that I would want to do this. Nobody else.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, you said there is no replacement for Russ after the band departed. So it's like a miracle now to find somebody who can do it.
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think this is a real big thing for me. I don't think that Norman tries to do Russ. I think Norman is himself. And I think going back to the day he did Off the Edge in the studio, and he was there for that, I didn't get the feeling he was doing an imitation. I got the feeling he's super comfortable doing that song in his own interpretation. That's how you win me over. I don't need karaoke. Nobody wants to see karaoke. Yeah. He can hit the notes. That's not what it's about. It's about everything. It's about feeling the song lyrically, relating to it. And he's a big fan of the lyrics, and that helped, to understand what he's saying and, to have that connection.
I think that's something that's very special about this lineup that Craig has brought to the table. When I came in, I was trying to be Paul Bostaph, and you can't be Paul Bostaph. No. And his line, I don't want karaoke. You know, I want everybody to shine in their regard, serving the song, of course, staying true to its form, but be yourself.
Yeah.
Put your thumbprint on it. That's the only way it's going to be believable and to be accepted truly, is if the people on stage are making the forbidden thing happen, but not karaoke. You know?
Yes. Yeah. It would be really boring, I think. I know I respect bands that try to go that route and try to like do everything like that. And in certain ways we are. You know, one of the things we're doing on this whole run, and we're only playing old school set tonight. Nothing's beyond 1990 for this set. But what we are doing is we made this conscious, here comes Norman finally right now. What we are doing and made a conscious decision was play everything in E the way we wrote it. So all the guitars are tuned up. And our peers won't do that. You know, they're like, everything's got to be heavier, darker, lower. Hi, Norman. He's right behind you.
I've been here the whole time, man.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, so we just keep it, I don't want to say keep it true, because that's a festival, but we do keep it true to the original, you know, intention of the song, having that kind of bounce to it. But other than that, it's me and Matt and 3 fucking amazing musicians that bring their own flavor to it, and that's what people are responding to. And it's been getting better every show because people are like, we have a real chemistry now. You know, it feels good. It feels really good.
So did this whole lineup happen more or less accidentally in Bay Area International, or how did that come up?
I told the story. You might want to tell the story from your end, but I will say that it wasn't an accident by the time it came around. The reason why I did it is because we kept getting offers for shit, right? And I kept saying no, no, no. And then Death Angel made an offer to play their Christmas shows. I said, maybe. And then Alcatraz made the offer to take Anthrax's spot. And I just pushed my fucking chair back from my computer and said, the universe is telling me something. It's time to get a hold of these guys. And then Chris was the last part of it. And even though we were great friends and we played in the Boneless Ones and Spiral Arms for years and did a lot of stuff together, I was like, do we want to risk our friendship over this one? So I reached out to him and he said, you should check out other drummers, you know, go the other route. I'm like, and then I called him back a couple weeks later. I'm like, fuck that, dude. I'm talking to all these great drummers. I got the best one right here. Aww. This is my dude.
Aww.
This is my dude. And it's been great. And for whatever little things he's wrestled with, for all these great drummers he's had to play with, he's stepped up and he's put his stamp on every song. They sound like him. He sounds like him, and that's the way it should be, you know?
I mean, you already played some sets, as you said. So how was the response so far?
Oh, it's been magnificent. Like, you know, especially coming in as a new guy, you don't know what to expect. Are they going to be like, you know, but it's been overwhelming, like, just great across the board. Everybody's just like, Forbidden's back. These guys sound killer. Love the new lineup. So, yeah, all good.
True. And that is surprising a little bit, too. But, I mean, I know, you know, I have full confidence in us now because we've done so much and played together and hung out so much and all that stuff. But maybe that's one of the reasons why it translates so well, because we're not overconfident or cocky about it, but we absolutely know what we have as a band. It's hard to find this shit. Even the greatest ones fucking lose their way along the way. And I think what we have right now is so tangible that people just kind of relate to it. And it's cool, man. It feels good.
And rumors say you're working on a new record already.
Oh,
is that true?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Been writing. I've got the beginnings of a lot of songs, and everyone's learning them and adding their own stamp to them, because I believe everyone should kind of write their own story within it, you know? They shouldn't all be... even though I write the majority of the riffs, it'll always be everyone adding to it and embellishing to it and making it better. So that whole process is happening. And this will be the first time I ever worked with a singer in Forbidden that's not Russ. And I wrote most of the lyrics, but Russ and I wrote all those melodies together. And so Norm and I will be doing that. And I got full confidence in this guy.
You know, we have a big head start because me and Craig have such a strong chemistry from being in other bands together, just in the Boneless Ones and being in Spiral Arms. Though they're totally different music, we have this anticipation thing going on. We have this flow that we trust each other, which gives us a head start going into writing new Forbidden music, which is awesome. It's already showing its skin. So that's really cool, you know?
And will it be like old school thrash, or is it more modern?
Yeah, it's going to have old school thrash elements to it.
Oh, yeah.
I tell people so far, the feeling I'm getting with the things we're writing, and these guys could back me up on this, I say it's a cross between Twisted and Deformed and Omega Wave, with a little bit of the other stuff between it. Now, you want people, what about Forbidden Evil? it's like Judas Priest isn't writing Rock and Roll over, you know, like you can't, your first album is a whole different vibe, you know, and we will have elements of it, but I can say really crystal clear that Twisted into Form vibe is really prevalent because it's a more mature version of it. So, yeah.
Something I've noticed is that the drummers that have been in the band have stayed in this formula. There's a formula to it, and what Craig says, you're learning the language that I want to stay true to. I want to make sure that because each drummer did that. They said, you know, there's something that Paul did on the first album that's special, so we need to, you know, each drummer, whether it was conscious or not, stayed there. So I want to stay in that Forbidden Evil vibe, but then it will be against music that is not that first album. But there is something very cool with the drums that happens with each drummer. I'm like, wow, you did that too. He did that too. Like Mark did that. Even Gene coming in.
Yeah.
And even Sasha, you know, even, you know.
The common thread is the very unorthodox way I write music and riffs. It makes you syncopate. So each drummer has their own different way of syncopating, right? And Mark Hernandez had the great feat, and that's what he was doing. Where Chris syncopates in a different way, as a different communication. Everybody does it differently, you know. And all these guys are great. Everyone that's ever played in Forbidden, I feel like, is top notch at their fucking job. You know, we were like the minor league baseball team of Bay Area thrash, right? You had to come through Forbidden to get to the fucking majors. And now, you know, here we are. It's crazy to have a chance to even be in this position.
Yeah.
It's really something that we don't take for granted. I'm probably more blown away by the positive, like Norman said, the positive response by the crowds and the welcoming feeling that we're getting. It's no bullshit. This is like every night it's like, wow, like they really are happy we're back. So it's nothing to be squandered, man.
So what was the best show so far for you?
Oh, the best show?
2 mics.
Stereo.
I would say for me personally, fan reaction-wise, definitely has to be the Metal Fest in Chile.
Oh my God.
Yeah, their fans are another
What
level.
the hell?
Like, it was insane. We were doing March in the Fire, you know, called for sort of like a Wall of Death pit thing. Now, I'm used to seeing shows, you know, good pits opening up here and there. I'm not used to seeing 50 people deep, wide to wide, tornado going on. And I was just like, I think I turned back and looked around. I was like, holy crap. So, yeah, that was insane. And for me, that's a highlight to date.
You know, I've never been on stage where people in the crowd are singing the guitar parts.
Yeah.
You know, like a soccer stadium chant for the guitar riff, which was like goosebumps, painful goosebumps. Not just the vocals, but like the music.
Yeah.
That was cool. Chile was amazing.
Yeah, I've been telling everyone for years, Chile is the greatest place to play because the passion that these kids have, adults, kids, doesn't matter, but the passion they have, and I equate it to two things: lots of earthquakes and lots of revolutions. So they celebrate life a different way out there, and I'm just always, you know, if I ever feel like I've seen it all, it's like, no, go to Chile again. You've seen it to the highest level. And Brazil was great too. Brazil's got a lot of love and passion for the music, and they'll tell you off stage. Chile, they show it to you while you're playing. They show it. So it's pretty amazing.
So 2025, can we expect a new record?
Yeah, I'm looking at we're going to write the great majority of it this year and start recording it next year, maybe some of it the end of this year. I think I wanted it to move faster, but it has to be great before it's fast. The main priority is to make sure it's all great, and I will not settle for anything else but our best effort.
Looking forward to that.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to the show.
Thank you.
Marcus. Thank you, Marcus. Great to see you, buddy.
Right on, dude. Good to see you again, man.
Thanks, man.